over the Persian Gulf. Iran tries to shoot down an American surveillance aircraft. We learned of it today, but when it happened is raising eyebrows. This is Special Report. Good evening, I'm Brett Baer. The cold standoff with Iran, waged mostly on an economic battleground, is quite a bit warmer tonight. That's because the weapons in the latest incident are real, as was the target, an unmanned U.S. Predator surveillance craft. The incident was real, though the timing is perhaps suspect. 1 week ago, 6 days before the U.S. election. National security correspondent Jennifer Griffin is following this breaking story from the Pentagon.
At 4:50 a.m. on November 1st, just days before the U.S. presidential election, two Iranian Su-25 Frogfoot fighter jets like these intercepted and fired twice upon an unmanned, unarmed U.S. MQ-1 Predator drone over the Persian Gulf. It is the first time the Iranians have ever fired on a U.S. drone. The shots missed on both attempts, and Iran's fighter pilots briefly pursued the drone, which landed safely at an undisclosed location.
New military tensions now with Iran. CNN has learned it was last Thursday, just 1 week ago, that two Iranian Su-25 old Russian fighter jets that the Iranians operate flew out into the Persian Gulf, into international airspace, and fired on a U.S. Air Force Predator drone, an unmanned drone in international airspace that the Pentagon insists was conducting routine, although classified, maritime surveillance. The Iranian aircraft fired continuously. They did not hit the drone. The drone was able to return to base in that region. But this does raise some serious new tensions with Iran.
On November 1st, an unarmed, unmanned MQ-1 U.S. military aircraft conducting routine surveillance was fired upon with guns by an Iranian aircraft. Pentagon spokesman George Little says the incident happened 16 miles off the coast of Iran over international waters. The MQ-1 was not hit.
The United States has communicated to the Iranians that we will continue to conduct surveillance flights over international waters, over the Arabian Gulf, consistent with long-standing practice and our commitment to the security of the region. We have a wide range of options, from diplomatic to military, to protect our military assets and our forces in the region, and will do so when necessary.
Secretary Little also said the U.S. never went into Iranian airspace, and it is the first time an unmanned U.S. aircraft was shot at in international airspace over the Gulf.
The U.S.A. has warned that it will protect its military assets after Iranian warplanes opened fire on one of its unmanned surveillance planes last week. The aircraft was flying in international airspace over the Arabian Gulf at the time. The unarmed drone wasn't damaged and returned safely to its base. The U.S. has protested to Iran over the incident. The U.S. says the drone was conducting routine military surveillance 16 nautical miles from Iran when it was intercepted by the warplanes, which then opened fire.
The Pentagon says Iranian warplanes attacked an unarmed U.S. Predator drone last week, but, well, missed the target. The incident happened in the northern part of the Persian Gulf, east of Kuwait, 16 miles off the coast of Iran. A spokesman for the Pentagon says the attack was unprovoked.
The internationally recognized territorial limit is 12 nautical miles off the coast, and we never entered the 12 nautical mile limit.
The Predator returned to its base undamaged. The United States conducts regular surveillance in the Persian Gulf in order to protect international shipping.
About 9 p.m. on this day, the Lord has spoken with me about a very, very massive event that is going to visit the earth. There's going to be a serious scuffle in the skies above the earth here. Again, there is going to be a very, very serious scuffle of serious aircraft pursuing each other in a very massive way. There's going to be a serious scuffle in the skies. Again, let me describe what the Lord has said. I see an attack aircraft that invades an airspace, and then I see a very, very massive military aircraft, including a very big one. And the Lord makes me hear the conversation between the fighter pilots, and they are saying that they are pursuing the aircraft into the sky. And then I ask the Lord, what are they going to do? And then the Lord says they are going to, immediately they get to the sky, they're going to strike, to shoot missiles that will follow the other aircraft. Again, I see very serious strike aircraft, very many of them pursuing with thunderous power like thunderbolts. And they pursue like lightning, pursuing the other aircraft. And I see the big one has already gone up with several other aircraft. And they are going to shoot missiles at the other strike aircraft. So there is going to be a situation, a very, very dire situation is going to happen. There is going to be a situation of an attack. And just prepare. These are the events the Lord is talking about, the events that demarcate, the events that mark the days of our lives, the events that mark the days before the coming of the Messiah.
Now with Iran. CNN has learned it was last Thursday, just 1 week ago, that two Iranian Su-25, old Russian fighter jets that the Iranians operate, flew out into the Persian Gulf, into international airspace, and fired on a U.S. Air Force Predator drone, an unmanned drone in international airspace that the Pentagon insists was conducting routine, although classified, maritime surveillance. The Iranian aircraft fired continuously. They did not hit the drone. The drone was able to return to base in that region. But this does raise some serious new tensions with Iran.
The Pentagon says a U.S. drone was fired on by Iran in international airspace over the Persian Gulf last week. Now, the timing of this disclosure is raising some questions tonight. We have our chief foreign correspondent, Richard Engel, here with us in the studio for more on this. Richard.
Brian, this mission was classified. The Predator drone wasn't even hit, let alone shot down. So why talk about it now? It seems that the Pentagon is trying to give a very public warning to Iran that if this kind of thing happens again, the U.S. could respond militarily. The Pentagon may also want the American public to know that this is going on in case we wake up one morning and hear that there has been an exchange of fire between the U.S. and Iran. All indications are that Iran containing its nuclear program is going to be a big priority for this new term for the president.
Well, this incident certainly is on the record.
Well, we want to talk now about some new developments in terms of the United States' relationship with Iran. Yesterday, Pentagon officials confirmed that an American military surveillance drone flying over the Persian Gulf was shot at by Iranian warplanes last week. They said the Predator drone was not hit and was flying in international airspace on a routine mission.
Iranian jets fire on a U.S. drone doing surveillance. CNN broke the story. Two Iranian Su-25 fighter jets fired on an unarmed U.S. Air Force Predator drone in the Persian Gulf. It happened on November 1st, 5 days before the presidential election. According to CNN, cameras on board recorded the Iranian pilots firing rounds that went underneath the Predator, never once hitting it. Bad shot or overt aggression? Either way, one U.S. official told CNN, it doesn't matter, they fired on us.